Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000. I'm Caedo Genesis. This is a bi-weekly podcast. We talk about gaming news and have a Bethesda / Fallout / Elder Scrolls centric topic. I'm joined by my co-hosts, BADCOMPANYSARGE.
Hello there.
And Jared of Jarred Gaming.
Damn it.
And we're going to talk about the Game Awards nonsense and stuff. It was more like promotional stuff that was really cool. So maybe nonsense is not the right word. There was a little bit of cringe in there too, as Game Awards go. But we're going to probably avoid a lot of that and just talk about the cool things that were revealed more so. And of course, like who got Game of the Year? Ooh, it was Elden Ring, to no one's surprise. Before we get to the news and stuff and things, Sarge, would you like to pick a comment of the cast to read out?
Sure thing.
And mention our... Oh, I'm going to drop this one on you. What was our topic last episode?
Our topic last episode was how great I am. We spent an hour talking about how everyone loves me and I'm the perfect person.
Wow. I can't believe you remembered it.
Oh, I've genuinely got no idea what we spoke about last time. I remember none of it.
We landed on 10 things that are in Skyrim as... What was the...
Oh yeah, small details and all of them were like major components of the game. I remember.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Thank you, the gamer.
Right. Wait, do you want me to do the first one then? Because that mentions Skyrim?
Yeah, sure, yes.
Alright. Still 101 says, the main thing that I love about Skyrim is the massive fields of Whiterun and the Whiterun city. It's my main player home. I never get tired of just walking around in that area, the fields of Whiterun, and sometimes I get a random dragon attacking me. It's amazing. Plus, I do like how straightforward the main story is. I like it more than the Dragon Age games. The Dragon Age trilogy is a bit convoluted in my opinion. Lol. And
smiling, crying face.
Yeah, I don't speak emoji.
Is that on point? Do you guys favor Whiterun over the other holds in Skyrim?
I wouldn't say over the others, but it's still very like nice. It's just kind of a pleasant area, more so than the other places. It feels kind of relaxing and calm.
Well, thank you, Steel 101.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I disagree with the Dragon Age comment, though. I really enjoy the Dragon Age games.
Are they convoluted though? Is that...
I don't think they're convoluted.
You don't think they're convoluted? Okay. I have no say since I've only played the Mass Effect side of things. So,
I played a bit of Dragon Age. I don't like the controls and some of the stuff with it.
Well, it's also in third person,
yeah.
so...
So Sarge automatically hates it, unless he doesn't.
Hey, third person is just like a debuff to games, that's all.
Sarge is moving goalposts on how much he dislikes.
Hey,
I'm sorry I'm picking on you so much, man. I'm sorry.
If all I know about the game
stop.
is that it's third person, then obviously it's a negative opinion. But if there's enough positive stuff, it can outweigh that. And there's certain games that have so much positive stuff, but despite being in third person, they can still be great.
Like My Time in Portia.
Yeah. It's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of like genuinely amazing kind of critically acclaimed games. But yeah, My Time in Portia's fun.
Okay. Well, thank you, Steel 101, for the comment. Now I suppose we could move on to the news. I already spoiled what the Game of the Year was.
You did.
But if you are interested in seeing what the other categories winners were, we have linked down below in the news section, thegameawards.com, which you can find the winners of all the awards there. If you're particularly curious about any of the categories.
Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok were like the two.
God of War Ragnarok was the big sweep of a lot of the categories. For sure. But Elden Ring, I was under the impression that however the judges do their thing, like they gave God of War like a large majority of the awards, but already knew going in that Elden Ring was going to be Game of the Year. So like they had to balance the scales a little bit, I guess. At least that's what it seemed like to me.
I would like to mention one thing that I was actually talking to Eddie about the Game Awards, and specifically like, you know, Game of the Year and all that stuff. He made a really good point that I hadn't thought about, and maybe you guys would be interested in hearing about it. That it seems kind of, I don't know, unfair is maybe not the appropriate word for it, but that like God of War shouldn't be on that list because it's an exclusive platform game.
Oh.
And I was like, as he was telling me this, like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, the games that should be up for nominations should be games on multi-platform, at least, if not all platforms. Because then you've got one, you know, PS4, PS5 people can only vote for God of War versus, you know, like, well, Elden Ring's on multiple platforms. But I just thought it was a really interesting point of view that I hadn't thought about until talking to Eddie about it, and I was kind of curious what you guys thought of that.
I don't know. Since he's not here, I can't start beef with him.
Sure you can.
I don't know, because like Nintendo's had exclusives for like ever. I don't know how that would work, like how that could feasibly work.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd definitely be excluding a lot of game titles by doing that.
Yeah, if you're like we can only include games that are available on every platform that we deem are like the most popular, because like if it were something on like the Stadia, for example, nobody cares about Stadia. I guarantee Eddie doesn't care about the Stadia. But what if it wasn't on the Stadia? Would that fall under the like not available on all platforms, or would that be not considered a platform? Well, partially because like it's already dead. But like this is something that I thought of, like would like who would decide that?
Sure.
It would be very difficult to do, but I think it brings up the greater problem of the Game Awards is very generic, so to speak. It does kind of just grab everything in a giant net and then go, this is the best. Don't ask why.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing you two did watch the Game Awards?
I did, yeah. We actually watched it when it was streaming, which was wild. I don't think I've done that ever or in a very long time.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. And I was going to do zero research if it wasn't for the fact we were recording this. This is the only reason I'm paying any attention to what's happened there. Like,
yeah, I didn't watch it either, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's the freshest in my mind, and oh no.
I mean, I've watched a couple of trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of trailers.
Yeah.
A lot of really good trailers too.
How you say that?
They got me really excited. What?
No, it's fine. I'll be a negative Nelly once we get there.
Yay! Sarge is back. Okay, so before we get into the things that we consider to be our highlights from the Game Awards, if you want to see all of the things that were announced, IGN did a nice, concise, I don't really say concise, exhaustive list of all of the announcements that happened during the Game Awards. Mm-hmm. So if you feel like you missed something, or you wanted to see what the like all of the things that were announced were, you should check that out, because there were a lot of unexpected announcements, many of which I was not mentally prepared for, but was happy to see. So why don't we get into, I feel weird being the first to get into what my highlights are, because anybody who saw the Game Awards and know me to like any degree will know which things made me freak the heck out.
Yeah.
So Jared,
I was gonna say you may as well freak the heck out about them, because we already all know.
Okay. I wanted Jared to go.
I like that. I like
okay,
that.
fine.
But
All
I'll go if you really want me to.
Okay, you go. You go, Jared.
Okay, all right. So, like I said, didn't actually watch a whole lot. So I'm sure I'm not the only one, but most of my picks came right before we decided to record, and I looked to see what all had been announced because I didn't watch it. And in fact, there's one that I didn't put on here that I want to mention as well, but I'll get to that in time.
Yes.
The first one that I saw that is actually a game that I had seen before the Game Awards. I'm pretty sure I have it wish listed on Steam. It's called Replaced. And it's like this
that game's gorgeous.
2.5 retro style. I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to be like it's not cyberpunk. Maybe like dystopian is a better word to describe it.
It looks a lot more dystopian, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a side scroller type of game. I'm very picky about side scroller games. This one looks really cool. Like you said, it looks gorgeous. It absolutely does, and it does a really good job of blending like 2D and 3D, sort of this weird pixely style to it. I don't really know a whole lot about it, honestly. It just looks really cool, and it looks like something that I would enjoy. I know that it is. I know the developers are from like Belarus and Ukraine, so having to make a game dealing with all the crap that they're dealing with, kudos to them.
Yeah.
You know, there's that. Don't know that much about it. It just looks really cool, and there's a link to see the trailer for it. And another one that I saw, which actually I'd never even heard until I started looking into the Game Awards trailers, is a game called Nightingale. And this game looks like something right up my alley. It's like a Victorian age, like first person, Sarge, you listening?
Yeah.
First person survival crafting, but it's got like weird creatures, and I don't know, it just really looks like something that it's co-op as well. Hint hint.
Yep.
Get the boys back together.
The boys,
maybe.
yes.
And it's just like this blend of like sort of a Victorian kind of, I was almost getting like New World vibes. I don't know if you guys played New World, the MMO.
I've seen it, and I do see like how you would relate the two.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's kind of like Victorian or colonial, or depends on where you come from, I guess.
Yeah. A little more colorful though. Like I'm seeing during the I'm Mary Poppins y'all section.
Yeah,
just
you can
bright
kind of Breath
baby
of the Wild.
blue coattails and top hats.
Yes, well, yes, it's very Victorian, like it's all those things, and yes, there's sort of like Breath of the Wild gliding, but you have like an umbrella or parasol, I believe it would be the more appropriate term, with a smaller umbrella. I don't know, it looks really cool. It's like this mix of like there's like firearms, there's melee, but there's also clearly some like possibly magic and like giant creatures and like mythological stuff, and it just looks really cool. Looks really cool
for sure.
And the one that I wanted to mention that I didn't put on here, but I just saw it just now, is a game called Judas. It's made by Ken Levine's the creator of BioShock, and BioShock is one of the very iconic games of yesteryears or whatever. Another first-person game, Sarge, looking at you.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do it every time. This is another one that I don't know anything about it. I literally just saw it as I was scrolling down.
I think this is one of those things where we don't really need to. Like,
yeah, well,
we know its legacy, so
yeah,
like we already kind of have our expectations, I think.
Well, I saw that it was made by the creator of BioShock, and I was like, ooh, excuse me. And that's pretty much all I know. But I'll definitely be keeping my eye on all three of those games, to be sure. And those are my picks.
Okay. Am I supposed to go now?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody, I want you to know, I apologize for how I may react again to the things that I had witnessed during the Game Awards, but holy crap, Hades 2 and Death Stranding 2 both got announced. This is the game awards of the sequels, because there's a lot of sequels, including 2 sequels I really didn't know I wanted to happen until they were on screen. I had no expectation that either of these games would get sequels. Death Stranding ended and didn't really show any like sign of sequel bait or anything like that. Hades had a wonderfully sweet ending. It could have just been fine, but they had more to tell. And I am so freaking stoked for both of these games. The details of Hades 2 is you'll be playing as the sister of Zagreus in the sequel. And she is a witch, I guess, or something along those lines. But it's probably going to play fairly similarly to the godlike roguelike Hades. And Death Stranding 2, it's a Kojima trailer. Like, there's so much nonsense going on screen. I just think you should look at it. But you see an older Sam Bridges, Norman Reedus' character. He's got all of his hair is gray. He's got a little bit of a beard going on, and a weirdly younger looking Fragile, which is strange if you know like what happened to her in the first game. But yeah, I'm excited for both. And I did want to mention, since neither of you put down in yours, 2 things. Sorry. Space Marine 2. Was Space Marine like one of the great 40K games or one of the bad ones? I don't know, Sarge, but I feel like you might.
Yeah, it was very highly regarded. I think
Okay.
Old PIPCAST host Tony Moe, I believe he really got into it. And
Yes.
has a lot of praise to say about it. Yeah, Space Marine was like a big early action third person bang bang bang, which did really well and people really enjoyed. So a sequel's been a long time coming, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, Game Awards of the sequels, because when Jeff Keighley was showing off one of the world premieres, one of them moved him. It seemed like it moved him to tears. Like his voice was breaking when he was announcing this one, which was From Software revealing Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. I have never really been an Armored Core fan, but from what I can tell, a lot of Armored Core fans got blindsided similarly to how I did with the 2 sequels that I saw. So I am excited for those of you who like Armored Core, and I hope that this is awesome, but it is From Software. I don't know if they have anything besides Metal Wolf Chaos XD that they are ashamed of. But that game is a meme anyway, so I'll give it, and that's the only From Software game I've played too. For anybody who doesn't know, you play as the president of the United States and you command a giant mech, and you're fighting the vice president, I believe.
Wait, this is Armored Core or the other one you mentioned?
Metal Wolf Chaos XD, not
Okay.
Armored Core 6.
I was like, what? This is what people
Yeah.
want?
Sorry. But it's just goofy and cheesy and not the direction From Software decided to go for like all of their following games. So more power to them, because they're knocking it out of the park for sure. Sarge, I think I've spoken enough. What about you? What are your highlights?
I saw 2 games which looked alright. Yeah. So, Remnant 2 got a trailer. Caedo and I actually played Remnant from the Ashes a couple of years back, probably now.
Yep, almost all the way through.
Yeah, right up until the final boss, who's just needlessly tanky.
Yep.
So, yeah, that game was fairly fun. It is third person, so...
It is.
Yeah. Condolences on that front to it, but it's still, like, the original played fairly well. It had some interesting systems, cool, like, art style and stuff. There was, like, technically there was a story, but it's all, like, hidden lore sort kind of things, like, almost Dark Souls style.
Yeah, branching a bit, too, right? Like, multiple playthroughs kind of reveal more.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it seemed interesting enough, and I'll maybe watch a video on this when it comes out. Doubt I'll buy it, but it's kind of interesting. Yep. And the other one I put on is Immortals of Avum? I don't know how you pronounce it. I've not watched any of these with sound. I don't know if that will make a difference. But
I don't think it will.
Yeah, this game is like a first-person pew 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 shooty magic thing, which the trailers are all cinematic. This is my big problem. The trailers are all cinematic. I don't get excited over a cinematic trailer anymore unless I've got a decent idea of what it's gonna be. Like, this could be good, could be garbage. I don't know. They just show some pretty lights and, like, an arm.
Yeah. I like pretty lights, though.
Yeah, but...
We've been burned too many times by seeing games that look way too pretty to be believable, and that usually ends up being that way.
Like, the game is not going to look like it does in the trailer, I know that. The general concept of first-person casting magic, yeah, fine, but I need more. This isn't enough. I'm sorry, that's just...
I can't tell if that's a highlight for you or not.
I mean, it's technically a highlight. It looks interesting. I don't really have highlights. Caedo told us all to put highlights down, and I don't have any. At best, it's like, this looks okay.
I apologize, Sarge. That's my third jab at you.
Look, I'm just a miserable person, alright? Can't help it.
Man. I have to say, I'm slightly disappointed that we didn't see anything, and I know it's been like in the works for a while and everything, but I was really hoping to see more information, maybe on Avowed.
Yep. Now that would have been a highlight of mine if that was it.
Yeah. That's something worth mentioning, actually, is that basically Xbox as a whole was not, just didn't really have anything to share. So, and everybody under them too, except for Blizzard, which only a handful, well, I'm exaggerating, which only so many people really cared about. I mean, which is Diablo 4.
The Game Awards were live from the Microsoft Theater, so they were involved in that way, I guess.
That's strange.
Yeah.
And almost ironic.
Yep, it was in their house, but they weren't home.
Okay. They just snuck in. Yeah. But yeah, because some sites are reporting on like how heavy it was on the Sony side, while it was extremely light on the Xbox side.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that there's something like Xbox presentation-y before the end of the year. I
mean,
maybe
I've got a bit of a theory going on in my brain, which is going to be a Sony versus Xbox thing. God, console wars, blah, and whatever. But in very, very general terms, it does feel like Sony's much more of the third-person action-adventure narrative-based game that is like this really kind of heart-wrenching story that you play through one time and get this, I'm not going to say life-changing experience, but this emotional experience from that's quite reactive to you. And I feel like Xbox more often than not is, hey, games are fun, here's a fun thing to play. And when it comes to awarding games almost as art, Sony's probably going to be more in the camp of getting awards to be very prestigious and be like, oh yes, this masterpiece here. Whereas a lot of Xbox stuff is more like, yeah, that's tons of fun, rather than, yes, very thought-provoking, interesting thing you've done here.
Well, I'm not just talking about awards, I'm talking about things that were, like...
Yeah, but if you already know that your competitor's going to be the one who's big and featured in there, I can understand not wanting to really show up. Because it's not like a fair match for the audience you're going for. You gotta go for your niche.
I don't know if I'm following.
Okay.
I think I understand. Like, Sony's all about the storytelling, and Xbox is more of let's shoot things and Halo.
Yeah.
Let's just throw it out there. Xbox is Halo. Sony is like everything else, I guess. I'm gonna be honest. I don't take sides. If I could own them all, I'm not really much of a console gamer to begin with. Be perfectly honest. If I had to choose one, probably gonna choose the PlayStation. It's because I do like that approach to games.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like shooty bang bang is fun too, but like
it's a case of neither is a wrong approach, they're just different ones. It's like sometimes you're in the mood to watch a comedy movie, sometimes you're in the mood to watch a horror movie. Neither one's worse because of what they are, they're just different things.
But the thing is, like, I can Google like upcoming Xbox exclusives, and I'm not seeing really anything. Just doing a basic Google search, they got things like Starfield, which isn't really going to be an Xbox exclusive because there's the PC.
Yeah, well, pretty much everything with Xbox is also PC.
Yeah, I know that's the kind of weird thing when it comes to Xbox stuff because it's kind of both now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The main thing I was just saying was
derailed much?
Yeah, a little bit. Microsoft didn't show much, whereas Nintendo and Sony, not just Sony, showed more than a few things. Just with the promotional stuff, not with the awards. I'm not counting the award stuff. And maybe it has something to do with their legal stuff with the Blizzard Activision acquisition. Or the Activision acquisition part with the Call of Duty nonsense that like Sony is fighting for some sort of like non-compete, whatever it's called, anti-monopoly something or other.
Yeah. Sony doesn't want them to make exclusives. Also, look at all of our exclusives.
Sony doesn't want them to make the only the flagship multi-platform shooter that everybody knows and exclusive.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. And there's a lot of money being thrown around right now for it. But yeah, we don't have to get into that now. And I didn't have it written down or any notes prepared, so why don't we go to the other thing that has more good things attached to it, I assume.
Yeah.
Which is the Bethesda QA workers are forming a union of their own.
Yep. ZeniMax Workers United have successfully created a union. From an external view, Microsoft and everything seems fine with this, and are just accepting of it. There doesn't appear to have been a big conflict, which has happened a lot with unions in America over the past few years.
Interesting. So no union busting attempts.
Not that has really been heard of. There has been the standard discussion stuff, and they haven't just gone in and had everything go perfectly, I guess, because you have to do stuff. But where's the quote? There was a good one. Okay, yeah, there's a quote here. From CWA saying, "We applaud Microsoft for remaining neutral through this process and letting workers decide for themselves whether they want a union. The company is fulfilling the commitments they laid out in their labour principles earlier this year, while sending a resounding message to the video game industry. The right to freely and fairly make a choice about union representation should be in the hands of the workers, not MGMT." Yeah, they were just let the workers decide which is how it's supposed to go. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's not like they've even done anything like amazing and above board, Microsoft, but they've just done what they're supposed to do, which a lot of other companies haven't. So good on them for hitting the bar exactly. It feels weird praising them for literally not doing anything.
Yeah.
But so many other people have just been like, "Oh, you're trying to like make sure you're getting paid properly and stuff. No, bad. Get rid of you." So
Kite and I have a phrase for this that I think it finally applies to something, and that phrase is "thank you for don't."
Nice. T-shirt?
It could be.
T-shirt design?
I don't know. Commenters? I know we've had many quotables the last few episodes. What else do we add besides immersion?
Yeah, there we go. There's more than 300 QA workers from ZeniMax, and Bethesda Softworks is included in that as well, are now part of the CWA thingy? ZeniMax Workers United? I don't know exactly what it's called, because it's called the ZeniMax Workers United CWA, which just confuses me a bit, because I would have thought ZWU.
Organized through the CWA, which is Communications Workers of America.
Oh, okay, so they're like, they are two separate things.
Yes.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a really weird naming choice. But yeah. It's just a solid thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I hope it catches on.
Yep. Hopefully you can help with crunch and other issues which can arise. Because when you got someone in your corner being like, "No, the workers need to be treated right, this needs to happen," it's good to have those things in there. Because even with the best of intentions, it's easy to have the workers get screwed over. So having checks and balances in place is good. Speaking of checks and balances, money!
I wanted to interrupt it so bad because I knew you had something in the chamber, so go on.
Okay, so
Money?
speaking of money,
I don't think I've ever heard that tone from you.
Sarge likes money.
I love it.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Alright, so, well, unfortunately you're going to have to lose a bit more of it. Because Starfield will cost $70 as Microsoft raises its base price for new games in 2023. That's right, Microsoft, who we just praised, are making games a little bit more expensive.
Dag nabbit, Microsoft. Well, hey, this is a long-term scheme to get us all to get Game Pass, and it's working.
I mean, I've already got Game Pass, yeah.
Yep, I do too.
This doesn't actually affect me.
I mean,
we'll just have the game.
This is pretty much an inevitability at this point. Like, I remember when games cost $45 for a brand new game. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like the price of games are ever going to start going down. They're only ever going to keep going up. I mean, this isn't really a surprise. It's just we happen to be witnessing it real time, I guess.
I mean, it feels like it's been quite a while where $60 has been like the standard AAA kind of thing. So I think a lot of people have got used to it. And during like a huge boom in gaming, it's been that price. So there's no doubt going to be blowback from this. But
I mean, there already has been. I'm still going to be loud about it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say I don't think it's like a ridiculous amount to increase it to.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, spicy Sarge.
Super stingy Sarge is like...
Are you?
That's not crazy. Because I want to point out the obvious thing as well. You don't have to buy games straight away.
Why not?
If you're not buying a game when it releases, you're probably not paying full price for it. Games have even just minor sales like within the first 6 months generally,
But-
where you can get it
but-
for like 10-20% off.
Wait.
So unless you feel like you have to play this new game immediately,
But
then you're not going to have to suffer that much of a price increase. It's only if you're an impatient person that has to get it right away that it's going to be a big thing. And in that case, you have to really weigh up how important it is. And I will keep talking just so Caedo can't, and that's just how this is going to go.
Sarge,
Go on, Caedo.
what if I want to pre-order a game?
Ah, you're part of the problem.
Oh no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no, no.
kidding.
No, genuinely, I do kind of hope that a side effect of this will be fewer pre-orders and fewer, like, people buying it and expecting it to be perfect straight away, and more people being hesitant. Because I think you should be hesitant with your money.
You should. Absolutely. I have a fun money story for the what are we doing, I guess.
Okay.
I'll just write that.
Keep us in suspense, will you?
The last what games have come out recently AAA that cost so Nintendo was like the first, I guess that was a first sign because we already covered the anniversary edition being listed as $70 on the Nintendo Switch for Skyrim.
Yeah.
We did. So that was just a tease. That was just a appetizer of like what was gonna happen. Probably.
It's interesting that we didn't really see as much. I don't remember seeing as much pushback from Nintendo's $70 game, and then Starfield has a whole article about
I
it.
think it's because people who play the Nintendo Switch are already used to everything being expensive all the time.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Nintendo is just expensive.
That's fair. Hey, I paid it.
Yeah. See? it's more like, I know one of you mentioned it, like just becoming acclimated to it. But it's going to be like a rough, like I still don't like the idea at all of paying $70 for new games.
Alright, I've just done the research. For the value of $60 back in 2010 is equivalent to about $82 today. Yeah, this is the thing. Inflation is making it so that games actually get cheaper over time. So, if anything, it could go higher and still be about as expensive as it used to be.
So the moral of the story is to get Game Pass.
I mean, it is good. Game Pass is very good.
Yeah, for now. For now, it's good. If I want to be a little pessimistic about it, yep.
Yeah.
For now, it's good.
Yeah. There's also, interestingly, the person who wrote the PC Gamer article, Andy Chalk, the PC article that I'm using to show this all off, mentions that the Bard Tale, the cost of it when it came out in 1985, was the equivalent value today in US dollars of $174.
Wow.
Because
Whoa.
it was, $76.95 Canadian dollars, which is equivalent to 174 US dollars of today.
Okay.
So yeah.
Feeling a little bit better now, Caedo?
No.
Okay.
I'm still gonna be scrumpy about it.
Okay.
Something else that I don't know, somebody's probably scrumpy about. The Baldur's Gate release window. Baldur's Gate 3 release window.
Yeah, the game that's already out is being released.
Yep.
It's
Who
only
laid
been out
this?
for 2 years.
That-
It's only
that
been
was
out for
me.
2 years.
That was
It's
me.
about how it
Jared,
goes.
what is this? What happened?
It's just a release window going from early access to an incomplete game, from an incomplete game to the not early access to hopefully the finished product, but not until friggin' August of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
no more specific, I don't think, than that. That's why it's a release window. So I think August. I think before it was summer, and it's been narrowed down to August. So sometime in August of next year, which I guess in retrospect, looking at it from where we are in this year, it's not that far away because we're almost done with this year. But still,
It's still more than
you
half
catch-
a year away.
Did you catch the legend reveal?
what legend? What is this?
Yeah,
Why was I revealed in the game?
the Baldur's Gate legend that was revealed in the trailer?
Nope, I didn't watch the trailer. I just got the article.
I'll give you a hint. He's a really big dude, and he has a hamster.
I don't have a hamster.
Are you a really big dude?
I mean, I'm fairly big. And I am obviously a legend.
Okay,
I don't know. The hinting and the subtlety is not working.
Okay, Minsk was revealed as a returning character from Baldur's Gate history.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do
well,
we
that would,
reverse know that?
yeah, I was gonna say it would help if I played either of the older Baldur's Gate games.
Gosh dang, you guys, come on. Why do I have to be so
Sorry.
old all the time?
We're
the same age,
We're the
Jared.
same.
We're the same age.
I
Why do
just
I have
never-
to be the old man?
Man, I tried playing Baldur's Gate. Well, here I go again. Baldur's Gate, the first one, because I bought like the bundle on Steam at one point, and boy, without the nostalgia, that's a rough experience.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. Like I'm all for classic games and retro games, but gosh darn it, I couldn't
Alright.
do it.
Well, for anybody, including both of my co-hosts, who doesn't know, go for the eyes, boo, go for the eyes, rah, is the popular quote from Minsk, the companion from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, I believe. He is a human ranger, and his pet, that rangers get a pet, his pet is a hamster.
Ah,
Yes.
seems effective.
Mm-hmm. And he has the exclusive power to berserk. So he's kind of like a barbarian type character, but a ranger.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a special lad. So he got revealed in the Baldur's Gate 3 trailer that was shown at the Game Awards, and I feel that was worth mentioning because he literally broke himself out of a mimic by like ripping it in half from the inside. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I am looking forward to a actually finished product. Like I foolishly bought the game when it was originally released as a early access game, and like many people, very disappointed with the lack of content in the game. But the game itself is solid. Like for a like D&D, that type of RPG fantasy thing, like it's a solid game. I really enjoyed actually playing it. I just wanted more, and now we're finally getting more. So I'm actually looking forward to it. That's why I ultimately added this, because I know you've played it, Sarge. I don't know if you've played it or not.
I actually haven't played it.
You haven't played it?
My moderator Dakoba has played hundreds of hours of it.
Oh,
So
I
get a lot of the cliff notes, and also I know Larian Studios games pretty well,
Yeah,
because I
it's
played
very
Divinity 1 and 2.
It's
So,
very similar to the Divinity.
yeah. So I
type.
have a fair grasp at what I'm going to get when I finally dig my toes in, but like from what I had seen so far, it very much looks a little undercooked. So I'm gonna wait until it's fully released to play it with my
Definitely recommend that to anyone who hasn't already bought it.
yeah. So yeah, now we have that release window. I think we got a couple other release windows too. Maybe for a Star Wars game.
Star Wars singular.
a war
Star
among-
Wars.
Yep,
A War Among the
Star War.
Yep. It's when the star is like, "Hey you, I hate you," and you're like, "Hey, I'll fight that star. Boom, Star War.
That good.
Anyway, what's this Star Wars Jedi Survivor release window, Jared? What is that?
I don't know. I didn't do this one. But
Sarge did this one?
I'm assuming it's the sequel to Fallen Order, the Star Wars game. Sarge, if this was you, you can talk about it if you want.
Yeah, I did put this in here because
I'm surprised. I thought you were the Star Wars guy, Jared. I'm sorry.
I mean, I am looking forward to this, but I mean, you know.
Okay.
I put it in because it was newsworthy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Star Wars Jedi Survivor with the colon just in the worst place. I need to comment on that before anything else.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Why not Star Wars Jedi Survivor? The fact that it's Star Wars Jedi is like the name of a franchise just feels so wrong.
Is that right? Is that actually what it's like?
I mean, that's what they got.
That's what the trailer says.
Because now I'm bothered by it. Because that is That is very annoying.
And it's trademarked. Here we go. I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. Boom.
If you scroll down on the trailer, it even says Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the browse game thing.
Well, the trademarked one has Star Wars in all caps, and then Jedi with just a capital J, and then it's Survivor TM.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird naming thing. But it's coming out in March, so one of the earliest games out of all the ones we've covered.
Yeah.
And if you liked the first game, there's a good chance you'll like this one. They show off a lot of combat, which looks Star Warsy, but also fun. You get to mess around with 2 lightsabers, a lightsaber with a guard, which was the thing that Kylo Ren brought in, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. You get to pick up stormtroopers, and they keep firing because they're idiots. You get to ride a, blue chocobo. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The bit of credit I actually really want to give to this trailer is they do a lot of, just HUD-less gameplay rather than focusing super heavily on the cinematics, which, obviously, I'm not so big of a fan of just seeing cinematics. I'd like to have at least an idea of how the game plays. I do think it's less essential for a sequel, but at least this confirms, the gameplay's going to be pretty much the same general thing, just with probably some new moves and new weapons and so on.
Yeah. That's
I
pretty
actually
cool.
really enjoyed the first game. For an EA Star Wars game, very surprisingly well-made game.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like EA can make good games as long as they don't just go microtransactions as, their main thing with them. If they actually try and let their anyone who works for them just make a good game first, then you get a good game.
Yeah, I think they're realizing the importance of that more and more with the EA Originals thing, because It Takes Two was an EA original. I think there was another EA original that was announced. I don't remember it offhand. I'm gonna feel dumb because it's probably something big. That's probably also not going to be anywhere close to the monetization model that they're kind of known for.
Wild Hearts?
It might be Wild Hearts. I have a feeling that's gonna be monetized. Even Monster Hunter is monetized. I would be surprised if that one's not. But I don't know. I can be hopeful, I guess, for the EA original stuff, because if we're talking about solid games, It Takes Two was a freaking solid game.
It was.
I'm amazed how much was packed into that game, and that none of it was exploited for more money. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I can't wait, guys, fellas, Here comes the crappy Caedo segue.
Well, why do you have to announce it first?
I can't wait. I can't wait for us to be able to let's play some of these games, right? I can't believe that we have so many choices on games that we will be able to let's play next year.
Yes,
It'll be brand
But
Brand new.
Caedo, how do we do a let's play?
You're matching me beat for beat, and I love it. Okay. WikiHOW did an article on how to do a let's play in 13 steps, and that's
Wiki
our
what?
topic. WikiHOW. Yes. Are you familiar with WikiHOW? Should I explain what WikiHOW is?
Who are you asking?
The
I don't
silence
know,
is
but-
telling me that I should.
I mean, the second you said that, all the dogs in the neighborhood started barking, so I'm taking it as a
I heard
moment.
it. I heard it.
Yeah.
I am familiar with WikiHOW and what it is.
Okay. I learned about WikiHOW through Reddit.
Oh no.
I think it's called like Disney Vacation. It's a subreddit where you guess what the WikiHOW image is trying to tutorialize.
Oh, yeah.
But WikiHOW's homepage says, "Welcome to WikiHOW, the most trusted how-to site on the internet." So WikiHOW has some of the strangest, some of the most outdated, some of the most wacky how-tos out there to do, like the how to
Convoluted
human,
even.
like where an alien would go from outer space to here. This is where they would go to learn how to human. That's how I imagine it anyway, because some of this is like really like blatantly obvious stuff. Some of this is really like needlessly obscure. It's all over the place. But this one, how to do let's play is obviously right in our wheelhouse. So that's what I decided to do as a topic instead of Fallout. Yes, Sarge just linked the WikiHOW about being human. So there is a tutorial on that too. Welcome extraterrestrials.
Yes.
It was
Here's
also
your
last
tutorial.
updated 2 days ago.
Wow. Oh my.
Okay, so this has 13 steps, so I figure we can kind of rotate with how to do a let's play, and we can commentate on which things are wrong or horribly outdated, because we peeked at a few of them, and this is going to be a good time. Anyway, a let's play, open bracket LP, close bracket, is a video game or picture series of someone playing a video game and making commentary about it. There are 2 types of let's plays, screenshot and video. This guide focuses on how to make a video LP. Okay.
Man, I love me a good old screenshot let's play.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. For context, because I didn't know about this until like not long ago. That's how let's plays did actually start. Like they were screenshot step by steps in forums.
Huh.
Yeah, is wild.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unexpectedly, historical?
it's actually that part's actually true.
Wow.
Which is wild.
That was like the one thing that stood out to me as like, this is going to be a real good thing. Like,
Yeah.
that makes no sense. And my eyes have been opened. Thank you. WikiHOW.
I mean, the weird screen caps that are very what's the word, slideshowy, that don't look like they relate to any game whatsoever that exists are still pretty entertaining.
Very
I
good.
recommend those who are listening to like look at this WikiHOW article while we're going through it, because it's hard to describe what's on screen.
I mean, I don't want to make more work for you, but could you screen record it?
I'd rather not.
Okay.
I
the
can if you
images-
want, because I'm recording my audio through OBS and it's currently capturing my other screen, because that's just the way I have it. It's up to you. I can do it without any extra work.
No, I'll if I
It's totally
need
up
to,
to you, man. It's
if
totally
I need
up
to,
you.
I'll just grab these because I can just grab the
Okay,
images.
okay.
Like I'll grab those and just put those on screen
Cool.
if we need visual aid.
Cool.
Okay, so who wants to do part 1? Or number 1 in part 1?
I guess I will.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Part 1, preparation. Choose a game. For example, Red Dead Redemption or Little Big Planet. Both of those are games.
That is true.
They are.
It is recommended that you pick a game you're good at and love playing, as your enthusiasm will show through. Bullet point number 2, avoid games that are used frequently for LPs like Minecraft, Super Mario 64, or Slender. Just referring to Slender Man, I imagine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those games is still used a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Believe it or not, Super Mario 64, actually, there's a lot of people that cover that.
That's big in speedrunning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just retro gaming in general. An oversaturated audience is a bored audience. You also run the risk, which gets higher the more well-known the game, of your LP video getting lost in the mix. Point number 3, avoid repetitive games.
Mm-hmm. So, the first 2 suggestions are in this part 1, this step 1 of part 1. This is going to get confusing to explain too. It's recommended that you pick a game that you're good at and love playing. Yes, that's what I recommend to people whenever they start anything related to LPs or streaming.
Sure.
Because it's easier to commentate on. Like, something that you love and you're knowledgeable about, you automatically know more, so you can say more. And can pay more attention at being good at the gameplay too.
Yes.
This avoid games that are frequently used, or like avoid the oversaturated ones. One of you said the Minecraft is still a prime example of a niche that's pretty hard to get into. Because everybody does Minecraft. But Super Mario 64 or Slender makes me think that like this was initially written in like 2010. Because that's when Slender was. I feel like that's around the time Slender was.
Yeah, something like 2010, 2012, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the examples listed aren't super great other than Minecraft, but I think the advice is pretty sound.
Yeah. Except for the third point.
Repetitive?
I do disagree with the third point.
I think the third point just doesn't like have enough to it, because
Yeah.
I'm not certain what it really means by repetitive
Same.
games. Like that needs
Like
a bit
Tetris?
more expanding. Yeah.
Like-
I mean, I wouldn't watch a Let's Play of Tetris, to be fair.
Maybe we'll learn how to decipher what this actually means when we get to like further down. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because like what came to my mind was roguelikes are repetitive by nature, but are extremely fun to watch. Well, I mean, depending on the game, because there's so many permutations.
Yeah.
So-
And if there's a really good gameplay loop, that is repetitive, but it's also fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit ambiguous. I will say that the part about picking a game that you're good at and love playing, I pretty much did the exact opposite when I started my YouTube channel. Is I did not play horror games, and I honestly didn't like playing horror games, but I chose to do it because I knew it would scare me. So there are exceptions.
Yep.
There are a
Just
few
use
exceptions.
A lot of the earliest gaming channels I watched were people playing games and doing badly at them and screaming and stuff.
Yep. Also kind of hilarious that Little Big Planet was suggested. I think, well, Red Dead Redemption is on PC, but Little Big Planet is not.
Oh.
So that requires a capture card or
Yeah.
uploading raw footage captured from your console.
Well, point number 2 is about the best way to record your videos.
It is. So part 1, step 2.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sarge.
Find the best way to record your videos. For recording PC games, you'll want to get a video capture program. A few examples are listed below. free downloads, D3D gear, and fraps. Free version only records for limited time and uses a watermark on the video. Macs come built in with QuickTime Player, so that's cool. If you want better production values and features, consider purchasing something like Camtasia. On most of the operating systems utilizing X Windows system, e.g. Linux-based systems, BSD software distributions, possibly Macs, you can use FFmpeg with VitaCodec X11 grab to capture part of your desktop. It can get pretty technical though, since FFmpeg is operated via a terminal. To capture footage from a video game console, you'll need a capture card, a video card with video inputs, a DVD recorder, a FireWire/USB converter, or a camcorder with AV inputs you can connect directly to the console.
Oh.
No, you just need a computer and a capture card and your console.
Yeah,
It's still
I feel
expensive.
like they're trying to make this so anyone could do it, but they're also grabbing like such weird stuff, and it's clearly outdated. Like, we get an image of fraps with this one, which basically no one uses anymore.
No, definitely not. And like the free things that they recommended are a free trial. Like,
Yeah.
you get watermarks, you get limited recording, and there's things like, well, OBS, which one of us is probably recording with, which is totally free and doesn't have those kinds of limitations.
Yeah.
Or like the $20 one cost, or $20 or $30 one cost for Action that I paid, and Action is great. And for recording audio, Audacity, which some of us are also recording.
The next point. If you want to take that, Caedo.
Dang it! I'm gonna making too many points already. Okay, so part 1, number 3. Record audio well. To record the best audio, use an audio editor like Audacity and a decent microphone. Don't talk with your mouth too close to the microphone.
Ooh,
Your
ASMR.
voice will sound muffled or distorted. Did that last episode. First point. Hold on. Clear your throat and drink some water.
That's not even on here. It's not a natural point. Don't give him credit for that.
I'm not. Okay, first point. Live commentary, creating commentary while playing the game, is difficult, especially if doing a blind run. If your commentary is not confident or easily turns to dead air, consider post commentary, recording the game footage, performing editing, and then adding the commentary instead. Note that post commentary can also be in text form. No. Maybe in the guide space. Maybe that's a little more acceptable, but I don't know about.
It can be in text form. It will be worse.
It will be pretty bad if you do it in text form.
Yeah. I will say they're using Audacity as the example of this one, which works because Audacity's stuck around. I'm recording on Audacity right now.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah. But, I mean, this one was a lot shorter, and I feel like there's more you can say when it comes to recording good audio. Especially seeing as they do mention not being confident and stuff. And I feel like a good point is having a bit of an idea ahead of time about what you might say. And having like a few things that you can talk about. Yes.
Before I started gaining, here's some insight. We can share our insights. Hey, this is fun. Before I started gaining comments that I could riff off of, because that's what I started doing in like my Fallout 3 playthrough, was I was like, hey, can you guys leave some comments and I'll talk about them, or if you have questions or whatever. So if I did hit a dead air point, I could pause what I'm doing, read the question, and then answer the question to my ability, not the best of my ability, but to my ability while playing the game. Before that, I would just write down like topics of discussion related to the game, related to things I was doing lately, and the game related and would just read off of that if I came across a dead air segment too. So there's a couple things that could do that. I don't know. Do you guys have anything kind of like that?
I do like the complete opposite. Again,
What do
like
you do?
I'm a blind run commenter. That's the way I like it. I like to approach a game that I've never played before, because then my reaction's legit, and the things that I say, it's just me in that moment. Definitely harder to get into, but once you figure out how to do it, it's really not that difficult. You just yourself, and you say whatever comes to mind. And yeah, I just think it's funny that it's I'm the anti WikiHOW example in these regards. So
Well, before you got to that point though, like, was it a struggle to like come up with things to say or to feel like you were staying interesting?
I mean, I think there's always the semblance of like self-doubt, and even now I'm sure there's times where I'm like, why did I say that? What the, idiot, stupid. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that bad, but like, but that's what editing's for. You can, if you say something, you know, that if you try to say something that was maybe supposed to be funny, and and you realize after you said it, oh, that was just pretty dumb, and you can edit all that out, which is the great part of like Let's Plays, honestly, because you can edit all that stuff out.
Yep.
But
Not streams are live.
yeah, streams are a little different, but you know, like with anything, practice makes perfect.
Yep, that is true.
I guess
Sarge?
I'm next.
Oh, I didn't know if Sarge had anything to add.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I changed my voice to make it more appealing.
Oh, okay. So you never had you didn't have an English accent at the start?
No, in the past I actually sounded like this, and I put on a voice constantly so that I don't sound like I'm about to burst out in tears and that the world is made of shades of grey, and so that the audio actually picks up properly rather than being really low and quiet. Because otherwise people just don't really understand it all. So I have to do the more energetic thing, and if you sound a bit more energetic and lively and positive, you're giving out more good vibes and people are a little more interested to listen.
So what you're saying is you gotta play yourself up a little bit.
Yeah. Don't use your real voice if your real voice sounds like you're incredibly depressed. Come up with a new voice.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, Sarge.
Yeah.
Okay. Jared? I think it's Jared.
Yes. Yeah. That's me.
Is it you next? Part 2?
Oh yes. Part 2. Finally. Oh, actual part 2. Part 2. Part 1. Recording the video. I'm really getting a kick out of these particular screenshots too. If anyone's actually looking at the WikiHOW while we're talking about it, with like with the atlas, the world, and all these other stuff. Like, I've never seen this interface, and I don't know what it's supposed to be for.
There's a lot of green.
There's a lot of green. It's like, hey, like Fallout.
Yeah, it's got a big old globe on screen.
Yeah,
and interface with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's really curious. But anyways, part 2, part 1, record an introduction. Greet the viewer, tell them your screen name, and give a brief summary of what is going to happen in the video. Give a brief recap on what happened in the last video, can also be included. Keep the introduction short.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it all
pretty,
sounds pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
pretty normal.
Yeah.
Solid stuff.
Yeah.
That is good basic advice. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody needs to know who you are, which is important. If they just show up on your channel.
I must admit, I'm very bad at actually telling my screen name.
Yeah. On a Let's Play too, like, I don't really do intros. Like, I know you do intros, Sarge.
Yeah, well, you record it in a different way. You just, like, record for 20, 30, 50, 80 hours, right? And then chop it up into episodes.
It's a bit of an exaggeration, but I
No,
do.
it's not.
I recorded large chunks. I have recorded in very large chunks the last month, just so I could, go on vacation and be okay for like
Yeah.
a while. Like all of December is pretty much taken care of if I decide to just do nothing.
Yeah.
So
whereas I very much record an episode at a time. So the recording is for one episode, then it gets edited, then it's on to recording the next one, rather than just going for this long recording and cutting it into episodes, which means there's a clear start and end point for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I don't do one episode at a time, but I don't do 50 hours at a time. But I do my recording for like the week on like Sunday, which is one of my weekend days when I'm not working my normal job.
Yep.
Your real job.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a real job.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I have a fake internet job.
Yeah. Caedo and I are everything that's wrong with our generations. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Yes. So something related to social media. I don't know.
Grrr. Yes. Well, point number 2 of part 2 is have a sense of humour, especially when you make a mistake. Make the videos funny! Ha ha ha! The best way of doing this is live commentary, but try not to fake laugh. Oh, that would be terrible. Maybe you fall down a pit by accident, and you laugh for a few seconds. Okay, that's 3 seconds. You can also make fun of yourself or your other videos.
This makes it sound like something you just have by default.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like having a sense of humour requires an entire other WikiHOW article to understand how comedy really works.
Let me just check what we have for choices here. Being funny.
Oh dear.
How to be funny. There we go. All right.
Share it in the chat, share it in the chat.
It's B-funny.
Funny.
Learn a little about what makes you laugh. Learn to laugh in boring or unfunny circumstances. That's a nervous tick that I have, actually. Learn to appreciate witty wordplay and puns. So don't make really bad jokes. Appreciate irony. Trust in your inner sense of humor. Again, that your audience will definitely determine whether you're funny. That's just something I added. Take yourself less seriously. Hey, that's actually good advice. Put yourself under the spotlight. That's a recipe for disaster. Know your audience. That's kind of self-defeating, I think. Because to gain an audience, the charisma has to be there first. Something has to get them to come out. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of other steps. The How to Be Funny WikiHOW exists too.
Yeah.
So
my favorite one is be especially careful about cracking jokes or pulling pranks during funerals, weddings, and places of worship. Which is the funniest thing on here.
It's pretty funny. Gallows humor is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So number 3 in part 2. Is it my turn? It's my turn, right? Okay. Share useful tips or hacks. Don't simply recite what is happening on the screen, but still pay attention to the game itself. Also, do not go long periods without talking. That's called dead air, everyone. And
that gets cut out.
That gets cut out. And we were talking about that earlier. Yeah, so this is actually very useful information because after so much time of practice and playing and talking at the same time, narrating what you're doing is kind of like the bog standard of, let's play type of stuff where you're kind of on autopilot. You're just saying what's happening. We all fall into it, right? But that's something that over time you'll learn to actively notice that you're doing it and then switch to something else, like, I don't know, having a one-sided conversation with an NPC you don't like. Admiring, you have very beautiful screenshots for your patrons, Sarge. Stopping and admiring the landscape, maybe turning off the HUD just so you can get a nice, beautiful screenshot of, whatever you're looking at in the game. And then talking about, how you're doing that. why it's beautiful. The whatever photography terms that Sarge uses and I don't know. Why something scared you, Jared? What are your inner fears?
Spiders.
I played a game recently where I had to scream of fear until someone said my full name, and I couldn't think of one, and it took me ages, and the best I could come up with was spiders crawling out of my ears.
Yeah, spiders are horrible.
That's pretty horrifying.
I'm not actually scared of spiders, which is the worst thing. I just couldn't think of any fears at the time.
Yeah. I think about fairly often, because I've experienced something pretty close, is just knowing something is living under my skin and trying to get out.
Yeah.
That's pretty upsetting to think about.
Yeah, you need a sharp knife for that.
Oh dear.
Anyway, useful tips or hacks. There you go.
Yep. If there's something living under your skin, get the knife ready.
No.
Alright, Jared, what's
Oh,
section
boy.
4 of part 2?
Part 2, number 4.
Part 2, number 4. Take the narrative approach by creating your own story or sub-story.
Ah, dang it.
If you're having fun, chances are your audience will have fun as well.
Imagine that. Fun
Yeah.
creates fun.
Wow.
Doesn't. Lies. All lies.
Why, I'm having fun.
I don't think there's much to say on that one. Just,
That's, yeah, that just exists as a suggestion.
Yeah, a narrative arc will often normally form over the course of a Let's Play as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're often going for shorter narratives that you yourself are creating.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Do you guys have a Caravan Carl?
What?
There, in my New Vegas playthrough, I came across a Caravan Guard, the same Caravan Guard, 3 times throughout the entire playthrough. Maybe even 4 times. But like, he was just hanging out around Black Mountain, and I kept running by him. But he was by himself. Like, nobody else survived except for him. So I named him Caravan Carl.
So he's just a little character that you've kind of invented through the game. Yeah, I've got something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, like anytime I ever come across a rat in a game, it's Ralph. And I don't remember where that started, but like in some game that I played, because rats in horror games they tend to happen a lot.
Yeah.
I saw a rat and I was like, hey, because I have a tendency to like assign random names to nameless NPC characters and stuff. Just to, just to have a name for him. Yeah, and the rat became Ralph, and then every time I see a rat in a game, I'm like, oh hey, it's Ralph. Hey guys, look, it's Ralph. And in chat, they're like, oh hey Ralph, how's it going, Ralph? And stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
People talk to him, and then I have a stormtrooper on my headphones. His name is Carl.
Yes.
Oh.
People say hi to him.
I'm familiar with that, Carl.
There's so many Carls. There's Caravan Carls. There's Stormtrooper Carls.
Yeah.
Sarge needs a Carl.
I've got a Carl, as in Trash Can Carla.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people always try and get me to murder, because I was paid to murder her, like, one time.
Yep. I helped with that.
Now everyone just hates her, and I think she's nice, because she's like a merchant who gives you a discount.
No!
But everyone's like, no, kill her.
No.
Poor Carla.
She's an institute informant, therefore must die. We've gone over this, Sarge.
But I don't care. She can tell the Institute what's going on, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay. Well, when you decide to finally kill Trash Can Carla, you should record a conclusion.
That's my point. Yes, number 5 is record a conclusion. Pick an appropriate place to end the video. Do not end in the middle of a cutscene or fight. Give a quick summary of what is going to happen in the next video. Another short one, simple enough. Yeah, that's typically what I'll do. I'll also ask the audience, like, oh, hey, what do you think I should do? And then they won't tell me. And then in the next episode, they'll go, why didn't you do this thing? And I'm not salty about it. Let's move on.
All right. You're very convincing, Sarge.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
Yep. There was something in here. Do not end the middle of a cutscene or fight. Sometimes, like, right when a fight kicks off is sometimes a fun cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say in the middle, like it said, but like right before it happens, or like right at the end before you have a chance to respond.
Mhm.
That's a fun starting point for a next episode. I think if you do the non-intro thing kind of like I do. Just an idea. Just an idea. But we've moved on to part 3. Editing.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy, do they have some classic recommendations
Oh, can't wait.
that maybe worked in the early 2000s. Whose
Whose turn is it?
It's one of you two.
Is it mine? It might be mine because it's
I
me.
can't remember the order.
It's me, Jared, then Sarge, right?
Alright. We're going alphabetical.
Okay. All right. Part 3, editing. Number 1 in part 3, edit your video.
Oh, damn.
Windows Movie Maker for Windows PC or iMovie for Mac provides some basic features, but getting more extensive video editing program is recommended. No recommendations after that. Cut out excessive mistakes or deaths.
What?
Make sure your commentary is in sync with the video. Yep. Watch the video through after editing to make sure there are no problems. That's just previewing your work. That's very important.
Yeah, I should probably do some of these at some point.
Excessive mistakes or deaths can be montaged.
Yeah.
I tend to do that in like several of my playthroughs. If anybody's familiar with Fallout 3, like you're familiar with Minefield because Moira sends you there. That's in a fairly well-known quest.
Yep.
Instead of painstakingly watching me disable every single mine, I instead fast-forwarded it with a catchy tune. So
I just cut it out.
or you could cut it out. You could just cut out the entire thing. Be like, okay, I picked up all the mines, and then the audience can just assume that you did.
I do a little bit of both. Sometimes I cut it out, but sometimes I do the same thing. I'll just add a little, fast forward it, and it's funny.
Yeah, it is. Also, you have your, I don't know. I wonder if they'll get into episode length or not. They'll be like,
We'll
just upload a 10-minute episode. It's fine.
I mean, this is old. It's probably going to say like 8 minutes is the
yeah.
ideal length for a let's play.
It's yeah. Make sure your let's play is 10 minutes or longer so you can monetize with the end.
I mean, is
pre
it
and
even
post.
going to be that up to date?
Probably not. I don't think they'll get to the monetization part at all because
I do want to quickly add before we move on from this point. Good video editing program. I don't know if we all use it, but DaVinci Resolve.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I know I bullied Caedo into using it.
You did, and I'm glad you did.
Yeah. It's
Thank
really
you for
good.
bullying me, Sarge.
Yeah, I use the free version. I think Caedo didn't pay for the upgrade.
I got the studio version, and
So did I.
my video card
You have.
is amazing, and videos render so fast.
Yeah, but even the free version, I use it, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably the best free software out there, and one of the best paid ones out there as well.
Yeah, for sure. We'll agree. Don't buy Adobe.
No.
Oh,
Heck
God,
no.
it looks so awful as well.
You can't buy it. You have to subscribe to it. You can't even just
Yeah.
straight up buy it anymore. Once upon a time you could, but not
Ridiculous.
anymore.
Yep.
Crazy.
Do you want a one-time cost? If you decide to pay it all, because like
Yeah, I haven't played.
yeah,
And it's
You
still
just-
great.
get the free version. They don't
Yeah.
screw you on like watermarks or whatever. The other things that free trials used to do. They don't do that. They just let you use it.
Yeah, paying just
Make
gets
a
you a
video.
bunch of extra stuff, but you still get like a huge amount of things you can do in the base version.
Yeah, and the majority of what a Let's Player needs, especially if you're just Let's Playing, like you have all of it in DaVinci Resolve, like easily. So you have three proponents of DaVinci Resolve here saying, get it if you record and make videos on stuff.
Yeah. I've even recruited Eddie into the DaVinci cult.
Yeah,
you dang right. I think I got Nelsar into it as well. So
perfect.
Yeah,
slowly forcing
we're all
everyone in.
Yeah, I think Dakoba uses it too. So yeah,
Man,
everybody's on board.
I wish there was some kickback we were getting for this.
Only there was a sponsorship.
Please use my affiliate link.
Oh God, no.
It feels like we've unintentionally like pyramid schemed each other, where they're like, oh, if you just sign up 3 friends and they sign up 3 friends, but we're actually doing it. There's no incentive.
And none of us are getting anything extra out of it either.
Yeah, we're not getting promoted. Okay. Well, part 2. Number 2 of part 3.
Yes.
There you go. What is it, Jared?
Upload your video. Websites. Boy, talking. Websites like YouTube, Blip TV, VO, and Dailymotion are great places to upload your videos. You can also upload your videos to your website or blog. Watch the video after uploading to make sure everything uploaded correctly. If not, re-upload the video or re-encode if necessary. Take pride in the quality of your work. Never upload or keep a video that has obvious problems. Consider using a program to compress your video like X264, DivX, Media Coder, AVI Synth, etc. If done right, there is little impact to video quality and it reduces file size, upload time, and space used on your hard drive.
So, Blip.tv was shut down in August 2015.
Great.
The other 3 do still exist, technically.
Okay. I've never heard of VO.
It looks real dodgy.
Great.
Yeah.
Just use YouTube, guys.
Yeah.
Pretty generous with the size of upload, even if you're a new channel. Like, I don't know about compressing videos. Like, I'm pretty sure that feels like a thing of the past.
I think that's a thing of the past. Because isn't X264 like a standard codec now?
Yeah,
I think so.
Pretty
I think
sure.
all that gets done automatically now.
Yeah.
Yep. So that isn't like an extra step anymore. It's just integrated with
And
it.
after upload, YouTube compresses it anyway, so you want to have it as uncompressed as possible, so you get the highest possible quality.
Yep.
So basically what I'm saying is render your video and upscale it to 4K because YouTube's going to destroy it anyway. 1440p or higher, basically.
I mean,
is my usual go-to.
I render out at 1080p and it still manages to look good, but
So
I
do
do
I.
I do it at a high. Is it a bit rate you call it on this one? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it at a very high bit rate as well, so that it actually does keep the quality even though it's 1080p, and I'm recording I think at 1440p. So
Gotcha. Yeah,
there's a
you
really
can just set
extra
the
detail
bitrate
in
to
there.
99,999 and it'll top out at whatever is allowed for that render. So that's just another way to do it. I just found it easiest to like 1440p or higher with that at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, as well, playing around with the settings a bit is a good way to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just good to make sure, like, for those who don't really have the time to just render out a whole bunch of things as a test, because I know I used to do that a lot, just to figure out like what would look best, what is YouTube upload friendly kind of thing. But I'm sure there's a lot of extra tutorials besides WikiHOW to teach you how to do that.
Yeah.
Because WikiHOW is missing some pretty crucial information on some things.
Well, it turns out we're
further
done
down
with
we
the
get.
entire video production part.
Ah,
We're
okay,
now on to
good.
part 4 getting known.
I didn't
That
see a
was
single editing timeline at all
Nope.
in all of these images.
No,
Cool.
they didn't actually give advice on how to edit. It was edit your video and upload it. That was
Cool.
the editing section.
Good. Nice. Great.
Like,
Awesome.
they said to cut out excessive mistakes or deaths, which I suppose is an editing choice.
But
yeah,
how?
they mentioned the dead air only in the commentary part,
Yeah.
where it's basically just telling you to talk infinitely rather than just cut out the dead air, which would be better to put in the editing. But we can complain about that all day.
Right.
Let's learn how to advertise your videos. Link them to your
part 4?
blog. I already said that, yeah.
Oh, you already said part 4? Getting no?
Yeah!
Oh, sorry.
keep up, Caedo.
I'm sorry. I interrupted
Come
you.
on.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Alright,
So sorry.
part 4, section 1 is advertise your videos. Link them to your blog or website, or any source of potential fans. This is the best way to get tons of views quickly.
Oh.
Ooh, tons, you say?
Yeah,
Hey.
tons of views if you create a website and then just link your
Nice.
video there. I'm sure
Nice.
everyone's already going to your website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Yep. I blog all the time. You guys have seen it, I'm sure.
Yeah. All,
Yeah.
all your blogs with
Yep.
the million-plus readers.
Yeah.
That's where you get all the views.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright. Caedo, go ahead with point 2.
What?
I feel like we can only
You were
take
you
this
were
out
gonna
the
make a
first one.
point at all? You were just gonna leave it at that?
I mean, that's literally all they say. Like, you should kind of advertise your videos if you've got a good place to do it. But I feel like the second point actually talks more about the places to advertise your videos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose. Okay. Well, I just yawned. So,
That's good commentary.
part 4. Number 2. Join a Let's Play message board or community and spread the word about your video. Posting your video to a Let's Play community allows you to get helpful feedback. You can learn new and useful information from message boards and other players. This is not accurate.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of bad advice.
Yeah.
Because what this does, if you go to, the Let's Play subreddit, it's suggesting subreddits and subforums and forums and stuff like that. If you go to subreddits that are designed for sharing content, it's you and everyone else trying to share their own stuff. Your audience, your actual audience, is not going to be there.
Yep.
This is a sub for sub scenario, and that just ends up with a bunch of dead subs that are not going to watch your content and are instead wanting you to watch theirs.
Yep.
So, don't do this.
No. I will say, very early days when you're just learning stuff, there are some subreddits, I don't know if they're still as good actually, but like YouTubers,
Yes,
where you can ask for specific feedback and stuff.
I can vouch for
doesn't-
that one. Yeah.
It doesn't grow your audience by that much typically. You might end up with a subscriber or two if they particularly like something, but it's more so to get an idea of what people like, what people don't like.
They are
and let
still
people
like
review it.
really strict with linking your own stuff. Like they just no self promotion whatsoever. It's very specifically about like helping each other and stuff. I think they do have like a self promotion like day specifically, like a mega thread.
Okay.
But that's like a weekly thing. But that's the only place where that's allowed.
Okay, back when I used them, which was when I started my channel, so obviously a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was you post your video and like explain what you're looking for feedback on specifically, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, they do have those too. Like from what I recall, like I haven't used them in a while, but their feedback threads are very like strict as well. Like you have to have given feedback previously on and have proof of that, and then also link your own stuff, talk about what you're concerned about, what you need ideas on, kind of thing. It's very application-y. But that's not what I would usually do when I went there. I would be more like I'm trying to find what kind of, I don't know, sound designed thing I can do for this sequence, or something along those lines. Maybe something a little less obscure. I don't know. It's helpful. NewTubers is pretty helpful. They have a bunch of resources too available.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah. Don't go to self-promotion forums. Those are going to be a waste of your time. Okay. So 3, is that me or is that Jared? I keep getting lost.
You just did that one, Caedo, right? So it's Jared.
It
is Jared. It's Jared. Okay.
Part
Go.
4, number 3, and it looks like this is the last one. Think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make friends with other Let's Players. Excuse me. There's a fair chance that they will advertise you. Hold on. This is your fault, Caedo.
Pro tip: drink water.
I'm out of water.
Go get water.
No, it's good. I'm gonna get through this first.
Okay. All right.
Part 4, number 3. Make friends with other Let's Players. There's a fair chance they will advertise you and their viewers will become your own. Don't use them, though. That won't go down well in the YouTube community. Don't let haters win. Every Let's Player has at least one hater who just wants to annoy them. If you stop making videos, they win. You'll have more fans than haters, so don't let them get you down. Yeah.
This is a funny step. This is entertaining. Okay, well, I can say that I've made friends with at least a couple other Let's Players who are on my podcast right now.
Don't push it, mate.
Or that I'm being stubborn and Sarge is one of my haters and I just invited him on to not let him win.
Yes.
The ultimate hater play is to co-host the podcast you can constantly hate.
That's good.
I don't know about this last one.
I mean, there's a certain degree of truth to it. I mean, you can't let the freaking a-holes on the internet run your stuff, you know. It says it in a funny way, but I feel like the message still kind of is fairly accurate, because I mean, the internet's full of negativity, and if you let that actually affect you, then yeah, you're gonna have negative results and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a pretty thin-skinned boy, and I mean, because of the nature of my content, I don't get that much like negative comments. I know like some of them have like really gotten under my skin, and sometimes it doesn't take much. It just like that weakness that's in your mind, like if they just hit that just a little bit, they just skim that. Like something that you yourself are self-conscious about, and they recognize that immediately and just go for it. Like that can be crippling.
For sure.
But I can't imagine like that being exploited to an exponential degree. If the quote unquote haters are able to get to that level, and it's actually doing damage to your mental health, it's probably good to step away.
Yeah.
I'd also say if you're attracting a ton of haters, it's worth trying to figure out why as well.
Yeah.
Like, to be clear, this isn't like, what are you doing wrong? No. It's very much like, why are people hating on you? figure it out. Figure out why the negativity is happening, and is it something you can change? If so, is it something you want to change? And if it's not something, then you can just be like, yeah, whatever.
It's like determining whether this was something you provoked knowingly or unknowingly, or if it's something that was just completely out of your hands to begin
Yeah.
with. Worth knowing, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I've had a lot of very, very nasty comments, but it's been very clear why they've come about, and I've just been able to go, oh, this person's that sort of thing? I don't have to worry about it.
The Sarge usually tells me, this dude's such an idiot, and then sends me the comment.
That's another thing as well. Sharing around the comments with people is quite fun.
It is. Did you ever get any of that deep lore guy? The I just want to talk about games. The New Vegas fans comment that was very confusing.
Oh, God. You're gonna have to be more specific. I get so many weird comments.
I don't want to read the whole thing.
Okay, I just want to talk about games. I'm gonna do a quick search and find their comment, see if there was a reply. But what was it? Oh yeah, the comment starts with New Vegas fans are on the whole the worst. And then the second paragraph of the comment starts with, but overall, across the entire community, the bottom of the pile are the modders. So yeah, someone who was not happy.
Oh wait, was that the one? No, it was one further up.
Oh, we were talking about a different one.
How they thought the railroad were responsible for the unaliving of younglings.
Yes.
And I really wanted source on that, but it didn't seem like they replied to you. So we have no context as to where that comment was coming from or where their information was based.
Yeah.
And I was very curious. So
I mean, that one wasn't even a negative comment towards me as such. That was just someone who was like, yep, the railroad are pure evil. And we all know it, and it needs no explanation.
Nope, guess not. Guess not. Yeah. Deacon is the Antichrist of Fallout 4. That we know that now.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So everyone now knows how to make a Let's Play.
Yes.
There is no further feedback needed.
Yeah. Nope.
Perfect.
I expect to see a bunch of new successful YouTube Let's Play channels.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of you in the comments section, all of you listening right now, feel free to just start your Let's Play now, because you have all the all the tools you need.
One thing I find kind of funny is right at the bottom there's a warning section, and the second point is, no matter what anyone says, your voice is your voice.
Oh.
After I've talked about how I've completely changed my voice, which is just, I mean, your voice is your voice, but it's also possible to change your voice.
Yeah, this is not good
No.
advice. If it's squeaky, haters will love to troll your videos. Show them that you don't care and keep uploading. They can't troll forever. No, that's wrong. They can. They actually can. The thing about trolls is they have all the time in the world to treat you like garbage. So, you know, just
the
be
third
aware.
point in the warnings is also recommending that you upload 1 video per day, which is a lot.
That's not. I mean, once you get comfortable with it, sure.
Yeah.
And if you have like nothing else going on.
I did that for like 3 years straight.
Yeah. It's pretty taxing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So probably not the thing to do, especially if you're just learning how to do a Let's Play.
Try like a couple a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something to give you enough time to like learn the tools and learn to commentate, something like that. Do multiple takes if you have to, kind of thing.
More videos doesn't necessarily, in fact, at all really transfer into success on a platform.
Hey, good point.
You know,
good point, Jared. Man,
I mean,
it is a good point.
Okay, I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic or
no.
facetious.
I'm sorry. I adding your name at the end made it sound like unusually sarcastic, and I didn't mean it.
It did. I was just like, what's happening right now?
Good point.
No,
Jared.
it's great advice, Jared.
My insecurities coming to bear.
No, because there's always a fall off, right?
Yeah.
Like that's an unavoidable thing. So
Yeah. I want to add in the final kind of sad tip, which is luck. A huge amount of it is going to be luck based. You could be the greatest YouTuber ever, make the most entertaining videos, absolutely brilliant stuff, and there's still a chance that you wouldn't blow up because you just wouldn't get found. That can happen.
Yep,
it's true.
Like,
And people that put in a lot more work than Let's Plays also can suffer from the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, work and quality does not equal views on YouTube.
Nope.
no, it does not.
That's why you half-assed. I'm just kidding.
That's why you find something sustainable which you enjoy doing, and you
Yes.
put enjoying it before any of the numbers and analytics.
Yes. Good point, Sarge.
No, that was different.
Yeah, that was different. That didn't sound at all like you were being sarcastic. It sounded like you were prompting me to say more.
There wasn't like a resentment in your voice like when you did it with me.
Good point, Sergeant.
No,
Whoa.
even that. It's got to be
That's
good
weird.
point, Sarge.
Well, you did the best example of it, so you're being sarcastic to yourself. It works.
Well, I think that's more than enough time on the Let's Play thing. I'm pushing the recording on quite a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
What's everyone been doing?
I don't know, Sarge.
Oh dear.
What have you been doing?
I was not expecting to go first. I've played a few games. Not actually that many, I realised when I panicked on this. But I've continued with Skyrim. That's like, there's 4 Skyrim videos a week on my channel these days. I've been doing the purchased items only run, which is quite a slow and difficult challenge, which people keep telling me to modify different rules for at different points depending on the episode. And it's just going a bit chaotic in the comments. But I completed Uniques only. Got myself the Oblivion Walker achievement, which was good.
Well done.
Yep. And on the same day this goes out, actually, I will be recording and uploading the first episode of Skyrim Realism Mode, which is legendary survival difficulty, no HUD, permadeath, no magic Skyrim. Which should be fun.
Sarge is gonna die in Helgen.
To be fair, the run technically starts, like, after the whole Helgen thing.
Oh, okay.
But also, I don't die in Helgen. Like, I've gone through Helgen like that. It's simple enough. I'm doing a 0 start, I don't have to worry.
All right. Okay.
I've also been doing a Fallout 3 series, which... Oh yeah, I can say it, this comes out afterwards. I switched to permadeath on the previous episode. After a few episodes of doing well, I killed like an Enclave Hellfire Trooper, like super early, real easy, and I was like, yeah, this is easy. Let's switch it to permadeath. Recorded the video. I was trying to find the explosives bobblehead, and I knew it was at the radio station place in the manhole cover thing, but I couldn't remember exactly where it was. So I went to roughly the area, and as I was getting ready to call the video, I was like, there's a radio tower thing over there. Let's check there just in case it's there. There was a Yaoguai.
Oh no.
So I may or may not die at the very end of the first permadeath episode. I'm not going to tell you. You have to watch it.
Ooh.
But the fight is fun. I'll say that for certain.
Talk about cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I've also played something which Caedo played and talked about last time. Warhammer 40k Darktide.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Which I tried streaming it and it did not like being streamed.
Okay.
Also, whenever it updates, it seems to revert settings.
Great.
And it's been doing a lot of updates recently. Which I
Glad
think
to know
is the thing
that's a thing.
Yeah, I think that's the thing you were dealing with, where you talked about like settings not saving and
Yep,
stuff.
very much so.
I think it's when it updates, and it's getting like a lot of updates, and probably was getting even more back in the early access.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So-
It wasn't just updates too. It was like when I started levels, like it would not
Oh,
save
man.
from lobby to level.
Okay.
It was
Well,
bad.
it's better. It's better now, but it's still bad in that front. Yeah, there's also like some technical stuff going on. The worst point is that you have to play online. I haven't found a way to play like with bots instead of people.
Oh,
Yeah, and my teammates suck. They just suck. I can't say it in a nicer way. They're constantly either sprinting ahead, ignoring the objective. I keep finding myself like isolated because I'm covering them, and no one decides to cover me. So I'm keeping them alive, and they're just letting me die, and that is consistently happening. And it's like, I can stop doing that, but the times I've stopped doing that, there's then been multiple deaths in the party. So I can either solo it and let the team die and be kind of a prick. I can say prick on here. Be kind of a prick. or I can sacrifice myself for the good of a team and make sure everyone gets on all right, but I'll constantly being picked off and targeted. So that's a bit annoying. It's a game I'd like to play with a full like team at some point and be able to talk to people. Yes. But there's a couple of things first. First off, it needs the not cross-platform but cross-store playability, because I've got it on Game Pass, tried to play with a friend who has it on Steam, and you can't yet. They are looking to implement that, but it's going to take some time. And just in general, it needs some more updates. It needs to be a bit more solid, a bit more stable, get rid of the weird issues like Caedo and I talked about, and then it'll be a really good game. Like, it's nearly there, but it's missing that final bit.
yeah.
And finally, a game which is all there is Gunfire Reborn, which is a cutesy little FPS roguelike where you shoot stuff with guns.
Nice.
It's fun. I wanted to end on a positive.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yep.
Nice.
Who's next?
Shall I?
What? Yeah, you shall. Jared?
Okay. It's changing every time.
Is that better?
I can't say it was better, but I
Well-
can't say it was worse. So I've been playing a little bit about a game that we've talked about a few times, little Midnight Suns, which came out, and it's not bad. I think if you're a big fan of XCOM, you will be surprised, because it's not really anything like the XCOM games.
Ooh.
It's, I would say, like XCOM Lite mixed with, hey, there's a lot of it that reminds me of playing Dragon Age, actually. Like when you're in your base and you're running around in your pajamas and doing stuff. Like there's a lot of that in the game as well. I've experienced a little bit of stuttering in the game. I just downloaded a patch today, so maybe that's better. Other than that, I haven't had too many problems. I'm really paranoid about new games, guys. Like, I can't tell you how many times I buy a new game and I refund it within 25 minutes because it's crashed on me, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But this one's not too bad. It's weird because it's also a card-based action system. So you have your guys, and like if you want to attack, you choose a card from a deck that you've developed. I can't think of a good example. Slay the Spire, kind of. I don't know if you've ever played that.
Yeah.
It's a weird mix mash of like game styles, but it's pretty cool.
All right.
I've had fun with it, but I got waylaid. I got my gears shifted a different direction and took a different path of games, and I've started playing a bunch of Sherlock Holmes games.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've been a fan of Sherlock Holmes since I was a kid, reading the books, TV shows, movies. Some are good, some are not.
Yeah.
I actually, you're right, because I actually have a hunting cap that like Sherlock Holmes wears. You know, the iconic
Yeah.
his hat. I have one. So
Yeah. Nice. Have you worn it on stream?
I haven't, because I've not really had a reason to.
Oh.
I've just been playing these games for myself. I haven't been streaming it or anything. They're not really horror games, so they don't really fit into my thing.
I gotcha.
But yeah, no, I've been really enjoying actually the ones that I have been playing. I've played some older ones and they're kind of hit and miss, but these latest ones, I can't remember the name of the company that makes them. They all kind of made by the same developer.
Yeah.
It's like Frog something. I'm looking up Frogwares. You know, I never really heard of them outside of the Sherlock Holmes stuff. But yeah, they're pretty fun. The latest one is just called Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. And it's like you're like 18-year-old Sherlock Holmes. Like you're pretty darn young, 18, 19 or something like that. And you're like in some Spanish city where you supposedly grew up in, which is not lore friendly at all. Because I'm pretty sure Sherlock Holmes and his family grew up in the countryside of England. At least according to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. But it's fun. It's open world. It's an open world Sherlock Holmes game. You run around, you'll overhear someone talking about a murder, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go investigate that. And you can put all the pieces together and you can come up with different conclusions, and some conclusions have different moral consequences, and there's no like good or bad choice. It's just kind of up to you. And since you're not really like a lawman, you're not really like held to specific moral code. So like if you want to let someone go because they've been like abused or something, like maybe someone killed someone because they were being abused by that person, you can be like, oh, I'm going to turn you into the authorities, or I'm going to turn a blind eye and let you go. But the case is still solved.
Right.
So
you can be Geralt.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can be Batman essentially. I mean, Batman's been compared to a Sherlock Holmes type of character. It's very much like that. You can be a vigilante, I suppose. It's not quite as hands-on vigilante like Batman, although there is gunplay a little bit. And I will say that not the chapter 1, but like the Devil's Daughter and Crimes and Punishments ones, you can actually play in third person or first person.
Oh.
Which I actually prefer playing it in first person because it's just like you can see all the stuff and you can focus in on clues and stuff like that. And I've been having a blast with it.
I mean, Sarge can play it.
Sarge can play it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Sherlock Holmes, Sarge? It's like your culture. It's like a national treasure, isn't he?
I was compared to Sherlock Holmes 2 days ago.
Really?
Which, yeah, I was called Sherlock Holmes and then kind of insulted Sherlock Holmes.
Oh.
Mostly due to the portrayal being... The deduction is always, obviously, reverse engineered, and there's so many different things, and I went on a bit of a tangent, which I'm not going to go on again, about how it doesn't actually work, because there's so many different variables which are not taken into account. But Sherlock Holmes is popular, even if I'm a bit of a naysayer.
So what you're saying is, you're going to angrily play Sherlock Holmes on stream.
No, I'm not. It'll be wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely will be. These really, yeah, they're especially the one I mentioned, the chapter 1 has, it's very, they've taken the liberty with the name, and there's not a whole lot that's actually Sherlock Holmes. But yeah, but that's pretty much all I've been playing. Like, I'm on the third game. I finished chapter 1, Devil's Daughter, and I'm on Crimes and Punishments right now. So,
Thanks.
Yes. How about you, Caedo? Wait. How about you, Caedo?
Thank you. I was waiting for it. I wanted it. Okay, well, over the past week, me and Kite went up to Washington and saw a few people, including our own co-host here, Jarred Gaming, in the flesh. We went to Red Robin.
Yeah.
And had some food.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking about going to the mall, and then talked about how we didn't need to spend more money, and then didn't. It's a very, very lengthy conversation, actually. But overall, my trip up to Washington was great. It was all just fun. Like, got to see you, got to see my other Jared, got to meet his wife, who I had never seen in person. Got to hang out with another high school buddy of mine, and say hi to his brother, who is also a buddy by association, and even crashed at their place for one of the nights that we were there. So, yeah, overall, freaking awesome. Oh, and we went to Olympic Cards and Comics. That's freaking worth mentioning, because that is like the best comic book store in existence in Lacey. Because the owner, Gabby, is like a legend. But for other things that I've been doing, I ordered a 4K monitor. It arrived and did not work. It was defective. So the most money I've spent on a monitor, and it arrived in a non-working state. So I spent roughly 45 minutes getting some sort of refund or replacement situation. I went for replacement situation figured out. So now they are sending another one, and I will have a tag to send out, the defective one once that one arrives. So fingers crossed that the replacement actually works and actually has something show up on screen instead of just be a black screen. So
good luck.
Here's hoping. The $600 monitor, not cheap. I just want a 4K monitor to look at and ogle, and I hope it's great. Also, high refresh rate would be nice. Anyway, games that I have been playing. When I was on my trip, I played Here to Slay, which is a tabletop card game where you start with a hero and you develop a team of heroes, and you can sabotage other players, and also you yourself attempt to slay the monsters in the center of the table. And it is a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it very much. I'm not going to say much more because I don't remember the rules exactly, but it was fun. So the other two things I played and did were Valheim Mistlands. The update is live now. If you're waiting for the private test to be over, or public test to be over, that is over. So Mistlands is up and available for everyone, and it is freaking awesome.
Nice.
Don't need to really share much more. Valheim is a survival game. If that's your jam, give it a look. If not, we'll talk about Monster Hunter Rise instead, which I've been playing a lot lately too, because the buddy that I stayed at his house for one night when we were out on our trip, I realized I didn't have him on Steam, and he has been a Monster Hunter player since World, and we haven't played together up until lately. So
Nice.
been playing more Monster Hunter Rise because of him, and because Kite is greatly surpassing me in master rank at this point. Kite is just crushing monsters left and right with dualies, so I have to catch up a little bit. So there was that. Also, Chaos Gore Magala, a lot of fun to fight. He has carded me probably 3 or 4 times, and it's still been fun. So I guess that's a good sign of a good monster fight. Yeah, I think that's all I've really been up to. Look forward to more Fallout 3 Let's Play, because that's still in the works. The special roulette playthrough is still going strong. People are enjoying it. And I'm very much looking forward to the next time I have to record another session because it is fun. So yeah, that's it. That's all the things. Is there anything you all wanna? Do y'all have merch? You have pronouncing your names in a way that sounds passive aggressive, like Jerry, Sarge, yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I have no merch.
Okay, you need merch.
I do
Sarge.
have merch.
Oh, Jared's got merch.
Yeah.
Check out Jared's merch.
Yeah. I don't have the URL. Oh wait, here, hold on. Yeah, it's just jar-merch.myspreadshop.com. Actually,
do I have that in the PIPCAST?
I think I gave it to you at one point, but I don't know if it's in there. It's actually really cool. Like I never go on Instagram, but I happened to go on Instagram today, and someone had posted a picture of them wearing a shirt, one of my shirts, and I was like, oh, that's super cool. Like,
That is really cool.
you know, I'm still pretty fresh to the whole merch scene, and you know, I've encouraged people to post and do stuff like that, and some people have. It's been a while, so it's been kind of cool to see that
Oh, I
just
don't
kind of
have
pop
it.
up randomly.
Yes, could
Well,
you link it, please?
I will give it to you then, sir.
Should I? Are you on TikTok too? Are you still active there?
I mean, I'm on there, but I'm not active.
I'm gonna replace your TikTok with it
Okay.
because
Oh.
there's already 6 links.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's so many links.
Yeah, that's more than mine. You showed me up with all your social zoomerisms.
What, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're clearly the youngest person here.
Yep. I sure feel like
Actually,
it.
I've just checked as well. I have the fewest links.
You do.
I'm genuinely the youngest person and I'm on the least social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
dear.
I mean, but to be fair, like, I'm like barely active on Twitter. I'm not active on Instagram. I'm not active on TikTok. I mean, I have them, but I'm only really active on YouTube. I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I
just like-
I saved that on the previous episode, so it's just gonna drop in when I reuse the details.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Well, if you're interested in the rest of the stuff that we do, our links are in the description below and updated with a new merch link. Catch us in 2 weeks for another PIPCAST 3000. Maybe we'll actually talk about Fallout. I just realized that we didn't really talk about Fallout for the last month.
It's fine. I'm sure episode 100 will just be a normal episode where we talk about Fallout.
Yep, it sure will. It sure will be a normal episode. Okay, well, everybody, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Goodbye. Jared, Sarge, Caedo.